Hello everyone. Even with Princess Catherine ill, Meghan sticks boot in. Meghan officially reveals her evil side. Honestly, I know Meghan doesn't like Catherine at all. To be more exact, Meghan only has jealousy and envy for our beloved Catherine. Surely hearing the news that Princess Catherine is sick, Meghan must feel happier than ever. She tries to appear more, takes up more airtime, and hopes to drown Catherine's reputation. However, life is not like a dream. She has overestimated herself while she is too mediocre. We have, of course, witnessed the disaster that occurred in the most recent episode of the soap opera that is Harry and Meghan. So, how did you feel about it? I was wondering how you felt about it. Yes, I was just completely captivated by the caramel dress that Miss Markle was wearing once more, as well as her ever-changing face. It seems as though you never ever see the same face again, does it? For whatever reason, it's a little bit like Batman and the Joker. And you kind of think to yourself, what color are you going to be today, dear? And she never ever fails to surprise you, does she? In one of their most sort of prestigious slots, the clearly left-leaning CBS was the company of choice. This is because, as you can guess, they are really trying to remarket Meghan in a different light. However, what is remarkable about this particular interview is that CBS was the company of choice at that particular time. In spite of the fact that this is the lady, Jane Pauley, who is supposedly a respected interviewer. We do not know her over here. However, this is where things start to get very interesting, because the control that is behind this is remarkable. When you think about it, it is incredible. I have no doubt that she has a fan base in the United States, but in this part of the world, she is not particularly well recognized at all. Here, however, is an intriguing look into the activities that took place behind the scenes. As is customary, there is no doubt that this was illuminating, isn't it? What was the name of that thing? The Parent Trap, or Parents? I'm not entirely sure. I've lost interest in what their entire plot was truly about. I'm not convinced. On the other hand, you ought to be aware that Harry and Meghan were engaged in conversation. Aside from the fact that you are aware of it, of course, when you take a look at these things, you can see how well they are choreographed, which is a fascinating thing to do, isn't it? You have noticed that Meghan must be in the backdrop of the photo of Jane Pauley because she is in the veranda thing. This is something that you have noticed. There must be a place for her vision. And, of course, you are aware that she is the one who must enter first. Despite the fact that everyone was solely fascinated in Prince Harry, she is the most important of the bunch. There are individuals who will shove her out of the way in order to obtain a picture with him, and nobody worries about it. I have told you this numerous times. On the other hand, this was the controlling aspect, and this is the aspect that I wanted to emphasize the most from that, because Meghan never stops undermining our magnificent British monarchy. She is a constant source of criticism. She was very much reciting the tale about how when she first met William and Catherine and the formalities, and there she was barefoot in jeans. They wouldn't care about that. You see, if you remember when she sat down with Oprah Winfrey, she was very much telling the narrative. This really makes me angry, very angry. Do you feel the same? If we feel the same, comment number 1. If you are not angry at Meghan's immoral actions, comment number 2. On the other hand, she wanted to emphasize that she was a kind and affectionate person, whereas William and Catherine, it seemed, were not. She wanted to make this point clear. Having said that, you will, of course, see that Jane Pauley was required to incorporate that voiceover. In the beginning, it was not present. Believe me when I say that Meghan's insistence that something is included was necessary merely because she desired to make a jab. Those of you who are familiar with the line will recall that these two are definitely huggers. The fact that you continue to want to do this is both embarrassing and desperate at this point. Nevertheless, it is abundantly evident that, regardless of whether Harry is concerned or not, she is continuously assaulting him. Furthermore, each time she does it, she loses more people and more faith from those who have faith in her. The fact of the matter is, however, that it is the Meghan show. As I mentioned earlier, one of the things that I found to be fascinating about it was the fact that you can see how the script that she developed in collaboration with the executives of CBS, as well as her agency and her management team, was the final thing that she wanted to convey to the audience. On the other hand, she is not as bright as she always was, and this is certainly going to backfire once more. Oh, in terms of ratings, let's just say that it did not reach the customary slot that it did on CBS. There you have it. Even the clips have not been able to, if we may use the phrase, spark a light. Clearly, Meghan has much animosity towards Princess Catherine. It's scary. William has every right to keep his family safe from the traitor and the tramp. The royal family is right to keep them away. As the saying goes, you never invite Judas back to the family dinner table. However, if Meghan could plot to wreak her madness without being caught on her nemesis, she would weave an evil web of contempt and savagery. Besides, when the lease for Frogmore was coming up, a security assessment was done. It was concluded that between Harry's drugs and his temper, he was a danger to hurt Wills or the children. Meghan, with her history, would possibly take lots of pics of the Wales children and sell them to the tabloids. Recommendation: the Markle's lease be terminated. Princess Anne backed the assessment strongly, and the lease was terminated. All the best to you. Certainly, she is still cyberbullying her daily, calling her chemo Catherine, and also instigating rumors about William that she originally started. She's poison. Even more scary is she tries to copy Catherine. It's something that Catherine's security people need to keep an eye on, I think. It's obsession. I think likewise she must spend a fortune on hairpieces and wigs. She has no style of her own, always copying Catherine. But in fact, no one cares what she says or does. The world is laughing at her, while Catherine the Great has the respect of everyone. Moreover, it is gut-wrenching how Harry and Meghan took advantage of these poor parents' worst nightmare. This is as low as one can go. It is heartbreaking, one would think, but Harry and Meghan find ways to settle in ever deeper lows. When one thinks they have reached rock bottom, they start drilling. Clearly, Meghan isn't marketable. Yes, she thinks she's so smart taking a dig at the royal family, shows what a bully she is. These two grifters are the lowest of the low. They need to leave Catherine and William alone, in my opinion. Really, they are stalking bullies, and something needs to be done. Exile, strip, including the prince title, in abeyance. And until he's divorced, had extensive deprogramming, rehab, and remarried, he should never get it back. I say remarried because narcissists don't let go. They reappear with the honeymoon love bombing, just to get back on side, and then the abhorrent real person returns. This couple never fails to leave me exasperated with them. When will they ever reach rock bottom and stop all this nonsense? Actually, I know when. Never. I don't see this ending well at all. Everything about them, all they do is whine and complain. I wouldn't buy or donate anything they are a part of. They've reached rock bottom, but they are scraping so hard they are reaching new lows. Besides, Harry and Meghan chose CBS because it was the only television network that allowed Harry and Meghan to write the entire script, including the questions. From what I heard, it was nothing more than Harry and Meghan dating more toxic vitriol. I didn't watch it. I can't stand to watch or listen to them. During the CBS interview, Meghan smirked and tried hard to contain her laughter. What kind of creature laughs at the grief of parents who lost a child from online bullying? Meghan Markle? Anyway, she looks terrible now. Her badly fitted wonky wig was her trolling Catherine. However, it makes her even more hated by more people. She's had work done on her eyes, likely a brow lift, so this wig helps cover the surgical scar for now. I bet she tried to have those pulsating forehead veins buried a bit as well, but her eyes are now round, whereas before they were hooded lids. So she takes a necessity covering GA healing wound and turns it into a mockery of the Princess of Wales. She's got a thin body now too. Look at her. She was angry and trying to control her rage. Look at the veins in her throat area bulging with anger, the pursed lips, the furrowed brow, the side glances at Harry, and then the Markle claw on Harry's knee area. Control. Shut up, Harry. Anger 101 Classics. In short, there is no chance that women will be allowed back into royalty Markle. Clearly, she doesn't seem to understand people like Princess Catherine for a reason. And honestly, the more she attacks the royal family, and in particular Catherine, the more she looks petty and jealous. It's not impressive. No one is buying that the Prince and Princess of Wales aren't demonstrative. Far too many videos and images of them being demonstrative, and Catherine is cold. Again, we have photographic evidence to the contrary. We are, however, buying that Meghan is soaked in envy and is furious with Catherine for stealing all the attention. In addition, I loved the look on her face when Harry dared speak. Daggers, this, like every other interview, is just jealous revenge. That female is so jealous of Catherine and furious at William for rejecting her that she's lost all perspective. The reality is all she does with these things is make even more of a fool of herself. With so much of the world in turmoil, it's not surprising that very few people give a purple fig what that pair say or do. Also, I find it despicable for them to think they can give mental health advice when they are not of any professional training. I worked for years as a mental health county case manager. There are numbers in the phone book for county mental health services and crisis on call for adults and kids, psychiatrists available, services available, therapists available, and all of us were very well trained. Finally, I have been praying for Princess Catherine and her battle with cancer, and now we have this interview about cyberbullying in which her sugar squad is one of the biggest ones. They are now taking advantage of these grieving parents, and they are not experts. I always watch Sunday morning show and was disgusted with Jane Pauley for giving these two airtime. Two grifters who take advantage of poor countries, veterans, and their families. Thank you very much for watching my video. I hope this video will bring you value, whether it is informational, emotional, or entertaining. If you also sympathize and share the same opinion with me, or want to share anything else, please comment below. Also, don't forget to support my channel by liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. Now goodbye and see you again.